Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, November 25th, 2019. Happy Monday, everyone. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here that the ES is trading higher. A gap up here and after hours yesterday evening, and what you're seeing right now is price just kind of trading a very narrow range at highs. The range for the day, $4.75 of range. We have 23% of ADR currently trading, and it's been averaging 20.5 points over the last 10 sessions. So that's kind of the 10 session average here. Very narrow, compressed price action, right? It was already compressed ahead of that. One breakout day and then more compression for the most part. So it's been very compressed price action, but 475 is about as narrow as it gets right now. And what you'll notice is that price again was able to bounce out of the PIMA trigger zone, the bullish trigger zone. Every time it pulls back, you buy, boom, pulls back, good buying opportunity, pulls back, buying opportunity now again, and you're seeing a little bit of a push higher. This is a holiday shortened week with the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US, so we will have holiday shortened trading, no trading on Thursday, half a day on Friday, and the markets tend to quietly grind higher in this type of week. At times it can look like a pretty big day up, but it was a really quiet grind throughout the session, and then it ended up higher. So again, this could be a week where it just kind of quietly grinds higher. I will say any pullback to 31.10 to 31.12 to begin the day could be a great intraday and buying opportunity, and for the week, not just intraday but for the week as well. But if there's a failure to hold 31.12, then there could be a pretty significant failure here, as everyone who's been in overnight here would start to jump ship, and that could lead to quite a pullback. So keep an eye on 31.12, the previous week's close. That's going to be a very important zone. If price pulls back to that area early in the day or during the morning, that could be a nice buy opportunity for a quiet grind the rest of the day. A failure to hold that level could fail pretty big. All right, here's a level, the NQ. What you'll see with the NQ right now, this one is compressing as well. Last 2 days here trading sideways inside a 3-day range, and then this is mostly narrow in and of itself. So a lot of compression here. Again, another gap up and trading just 19 points of range in overnight and pre-market trading. So 19.75 points of range, that's 27% of average. It's been averaging 74 points over the last 10 sessions. Over the last 10 sessions, 74 points. So really quiet price action. It was, well over 150, 200 points quite a while ago. So things have kind of quieted down. The range has shrunk a little bit as expected headed into a holiday week. But again, given the fact that bulls continue to defend the PIMA trigger zone here, that would suggest more upside strength ahead. A failure to keep that intact would suggest a pullback. So if price can't hold, say, this LV in here, that could lead to quite a move. But for right now, holding that zone would suggest more uptrending price action ahead. Keep an eye on 82.80. 82.83 is the previous week's close price. A pullback into the 82.80s there could provide an early buy opportunity for the day. A failure to hold that zone could lead to a reversal quite a bit back down. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. You'll see crude oil here has pulled back a little bit over the last couple of days after seeing a pretty strong failure here and a 2-day rally right off the lower boundary of that channel that we were talking about. Price did get to a new high, although it did not get to 59s here. It got to 58.74. It's now pulled back. It's an inside day at the moment, but it's kind of an inside day after a trend up. So again, are we about to do some of this action here after the trend up? It went sideways for several days. Here's a push higher. It went sideways for at least 3 days. Is that what about to happen now? Or, are we going to spring a little bit higher? There's a little bit more room to run to the upside if this really wanted to. But it did get a new high, so theoretically speaking, it could come back to a channel low. But again, keeping an eye on this situation right now. Inside day, where it took out the previous low just a little bit, I guess, by a few ticks, and then bounced back to VWAP. So right now, failed new low in progress. Again, as long as price continues to hold 57.25, this likely leads to more upside with a shot to see 59.65 down the road. All right, let's take a look now lastly at gold futures. You'll see with gold, this one has been unable to hold the previous month's low. That's 14.65. That's that level right there. It got below it. On that day, we had it as a buy candidate to push higher. On this day right here, it was a reaffirmation of that buy. And then on this day, when it could not hold that midpoint, that's when we mentioned that this thing may be failing ahead. It also bounced off of 1480. And so I mentioned watch 1480 to 1460 because a breakout from that range likely triggers the next move. Right now we have broken down through 1460. We've made it resistance. VWAP trending downward in an intraday time frame on the 512 tick chart with more likely downside price action ahead. Keep an eye on 1457 in this one, 1457, because a push back above that zone could suggest a bounce back toward the 1460s, at least on an intraday time frame. But right now, 1460 is the big level. Staying below that level right there would suggest at least a retest of the recent lows, which is 1446. And there's an FOMC key level down there at 1440 that needs to be filled. So that could provide a great flush. That could be kind of a bullish divergence. Perhaps that could happen if that were to play out. So right now, below 1460 would suggest more weakness to this low. If it gets to this low and fills this zone, that could be a trap for a bounce back to 1480. So that's just kind of how the path forward could look like. Keep an eye on this right now as it trends lower. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the week. Good luck, trade well, happy Monday, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.